There's a piece that I saw linked over at the Washington Post from a publication called The Lily. And it says, "I'm weary of dating in the church. A devout Christian lets us into her dating life." It's by Joy Beth Smith. And it's an interview with this committed Christian. And the entire article is about how bad it is to date as a Christian. And it just says to me how corrupt our society is that we think that it is very bad to date as a religious person. I dated as a religious person. As I have said for my entire adult life, I think dating for marriage is the only type of dating that is worthwhile. I think dating for fun is a waste of time. I think it is counterproductive. I think it prevents you from finding someone you want to spend the rest of your life with. I'm a goal-oriented person. I think people should be goal-oriented in relationships. What's hilarious about this article is that it unintentionally exposes how great it is to date as a religious person. So here's what the article says. This is an interview. So this woman is asked, "You're a committed Christian. What's your experience been like dating in a devout religious setting?" "Exhausting. I'm weary of dating in the church. Growing up as a conservative Southern Baptist, I was conditioned to believe that the purpose of dating is for marriage. You only date when you are ready and able to be married, and you only date people whom you would consider marrying. This, of course, presents all kinds of problems. How do you know when you're ready for marriage? And is anyone really ready for marriage?" Okay, the answer is that yes, there comes a point in your life when you are ready to make a commitment and settle down. And if you're not ready to do that, then you shouldn't be leading anybody else on. We all know when this point is, and to pretend that you don't really know when you're ready for marriage, it's like saying, do you know when you're ready to get a job? You're ready to get a job when it's time to get a job. You're ready to get married when it's time to get married. Are you ready at the end of college after your brain fully develops, or maybe once you're financially stable and your fertility is starting to decrease at an alarming rate? No, it is when you are personally capable of having a fulfilling lifelong commitment. By default, this mentality also teaches you to assess every guy as a prospective spouse before seeing him as a person. I don't even know what that means. I legitimately don't know what that means. If I see somebody as a prospective spouse, do I no longer see them as a human being? In fact, I see them as the ultimate human being, a person with whom I might want to spend the rest of my life. How's it demeaning anyone to evaluate whether you want to spend the rest of your life with them? That seems like maybe the best way to determine whether that person is a person worth your time. But this lady says, this creates a culture of commodification and dehumanization that only compounds dating's inherent frustrations. Okay, let me ask you this. Which do you think creates more dehumanization and commodification? Dating for sex or dating for marriage? Which do you think is more dehumanizing? Hey, there's a hot person. I'd like to screw them. Or, hey, there's a human being. I might like to settle down and marry that person. They seem attractive on the surface. Maybe we should sit down and talk about their values, their aspirations, goals, and dreams. Which one is more dehumanizing and commodifying? This lady says, it begins to seem like you're only as valuable as you are marriageable. Well, in the context of relationships, yes, that's exactly what it means. It means that maybe if you're not marriageable, you should start thinking about how to make yourself more marriageable. Because in order to be marriageable, that means that you have to be found worthwhile by another person voluntarily. Stop railing against reality and start thinking about how you improve your life. Anything that detracts from your marriage potential, like a quirky personality or a too loud laugh, decreases your value as a person. No, it doesn't decrease your value as a person. It decreases your value as a marriage partner, but only to people who value those things. Because again, it's a voluntary lifelong commitment. In the orbit of a church culture that highly prizes the nuclear family unit, I'm unable to fully participate or create that family structure for myself despite my best efforts. Listen, I know it's hard to be single. It sucks to be single. It's no fun to be single. But to substitute an ersatz relationship for something real and true, to stop seeking the good in favor of the mediocre to bad, is not only a waste of your time, it is a waste of your soul. This lady says, it makes sense that the church is where I would find someone who shares my values and is like-minded on many issues, but I don't know how to be what the single men seem to be looking for, and it's painful to continually put yourself on a market where there are no takers. Again, that is true. It is difficult to date. Dating sucks. It was my least favorite time of life. I hated dating. I thought it was terrible. It's why after I found my wife and we started dating, within 3.5 months we were engaged. I remember when we got engaged. It was November 15th of 2007. And finally, I turned to my wife and I said, I love you. And then for a month, she did not say I love you back. For a full month, she did not say I love you back. And this was very troubling. It is very difficult. Every time I would finish a phone call, I'd say, I love you. And she would say, okay, bye. It was great. Then, December 15th, she finally realized that, in fact, she did love me. And she said, I love you too. And the reason she hadn't said I love you is because she knew that the minute that she said I love you, this is what was going to happen next, because it did. I said, okay, let's get married. You love me. I love you. We share the same values. We're ready to get married. What's the problem? Let's do this thing. And my wife, I remember saying, you know, why don't we just take our time and enjoy the dating? And I said to her, because I'm not enjoying the dating. I'm enjoying being with you, but dating always holds over its head the possibility that we break up. And I don't like that. It's uncomfortable to me. I don't want to break up with you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. So why don't we just get this thing formalized and let's get this done? And it took my wife about a week to come around, and then we were engaged on December 22nd of 2017. By the way, our first date was September 5th. So that is the entire timeline of our dating experience. And it was great. Why? Because it was always done with an attitude toward commitment, directed toward commitment. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your life. And that doesn't mean that this is going to be easy. It doesn't mean that the timeline is going to be quick. Listen, I know a lot of single people, a lot of them, and it's painful. I remember being single. It's no fun at all. It's no fun at all. But that does not mean that you should lower your sights or settle for, well, you know what would be better is if I just randomly had sex with people, or I would just have a relationship where I know it's not going anywhere, but better to be together than be alone. You're emptying your soul and depriving yourself of the possibility of something better.